I had always been the stoic one, steadfast and strong. My brother, David, taught me that. Letting people see you raw and vulnerable was for the weak, for those who couldn't control their feelings. Yet here I was, sitting in the middle of the dairy aisle of my local grocery store, bawling my eyes out. I had been living alone for months. At 17, I had a large house all to myself. David had been sick for a long time, but recently he'd had to stay down at the UPenn Hospital in Philly to receive specialty care and multiple surgeries. My parents both worked, splitting their time between their jobs and the city, leaving me at home alone over an hour and a half away from any of them. He was only supposed to be there for a couple of weeks, but today marked the 4th month of him there and me alone. No one knew. My family wasn't open about it. My teachers only realized my living situation when both of my parents failed to show up for my yearly parent-teacher evaluation the day before, and I'd finally run out of excuses. Their looks of pity mirroring the faces of shoppers who passed me by for milk and eggs. After another half hour of crying, I managed to drag myself home. When I got through the door, the answering machine blinked back at me. "Hey, scumbag, I just wanted to call you. I know you get pretty lonely there all by yourself. I made Mom and Dad promise they'd be there tomorrow for your game." Look, Leah, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to come home next week. Turns out, I'm going to be here for a while longer. Hey, you turned out pretty great, you know? I mean, for you at least. I'm actually pretty proud of you. You'll always be my little sister, Lou. I love you. At first I was curious as to what the choking sounds in the background were before I realized he had been crying. David was crying? Had hell frozen over last night and no one informed me? A month after my meltdown, the hospital let him out for a day trip. He cried again when he saw me, and again, a few hours later, when he reached back to hold my hand while I pushed his wheelchair down the aisle at our sister's wedding. Tears streaming down both of our faces, no longer caring who saw what. Finally understanding that sometimes tears meant strength, not weakness. So I do believe in tears, and in the occasional mental breakdowns in the grocery store. But most of all, I believe in big brothers.